Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Jacksonville where a man has been arrested for child sex crimes. Jacksonville police arrested Michael Beatty, 44 years old, on Sunday and charged him with statutory rape of a child by an adult and 2 counts of first-degree statutory sex offense. A warrant shows these crimes having happened in November of 2021. Now, the court document says that the victim was between 8 and 12 years old. Beatty is being held without bond. And now we want to turn our attention to the troubling trend of political violence that reared its ugly head over 2025. And perhaps none exemplified the ugliness more than the shocking assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. NBC's Stephanie Gosk has more.
On September 10th, an unthinkable act of political violence playing out before a crowd of 3,000. The brazen assassination of influential conservative activist Charlie Kirk as he was speaking on the campus of Utah Valley University. The 31-year-old CEO of Turning Point USA leaving behind his wife and 2 small children. The attack prompting an outcry over political violence in the U.S.
We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes.
The investigation revealed signs of a troubling new trend. Bullet casings inscribed with threatening messages, including one investigators say read, "Hey fascist, catch." The suspect is charged with aggravated murder and could face the death penalty. He has not yet entered a plea. Some data shows political violence is getting worse, with threats against public figures from both parties on the rise. Capitol Police telling NBC News its agents were on track to work through roughly 14,000 threat assessment cases this year alone, up 48% from 2024. Kirk's assassination follows attacks on other political leaders this year. On April 13th, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro was the target of an arson attack on his home.
It's especially hard to know that he tried to burn our family to death while we slept.
Security camera video shows a man breaking into the governor's mansion using Molotov cocktails to start the fire. The suspect later pleaded guilty. And 2 months later, on June 14th in Minnesota, Democratic state legislator Melissa Hortman and her husband gunned down in their home. Prosecutors say the suspect went on a planned rampage that started with shooting Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette at their home nearby. Authorities say the suspect had notebooks filled with names and addresses of over 45 Democratic lawmakers. The suspect has pleaded not guilty.
This was a grievous wound that Minnesota experienced. These are public servants that raised their hands and said they would serve, and they were just doing their job.
In the wake of Kirk's assassination, President Trump declared October 14th, Kirk's birthday, as a national day of remembrance and posthumously awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. His widow, Erica Kirk, now taking over as CEO of Turning Point USA, saying at his memorial that she forgives his killer.
I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate.
And again, that was Stephanie Gosk reporting. We now want to turn to your weather forecast. We're looking at a massive mess of wintry weather going on across the northeastern portion of the United States, essentially from the Great Lakes extending all the way out towards Maine. We have got a massive system that will swing some showers into eastern North Carolina. Now, we're not going to be dealing with the headache of snow, sleet, and freezing rain like they're dealing with from Pennsylvania northward up across New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and of course Michigan. Also again seeing some rough wintry weather as we speak. For us here in eastern North Carolina, though, we've got just a few passing showers that'll roll overhead as we make our way through the next few hours. Right now, nothing showing up on the radar, but further back towards the west, we are looking again at increasing cloud cover and again some light to moderate raindrops coming down for those of you watching further back towards, well, really on the western side of I-95. Here's a look at those clouds slowly working their way overhead right now. Washington still enjoying the sunshine, but coming up over the next hour, I think that sunshine's going to be going away. Currently 72 degrees along the Pamlico River, comes with a southwesterly breeze at 20 miles an hour. a toasty day, especially compared to what we've got coming up for tomorrow. Right now, most inland areas are looking at the mid-60s to low 70s in terms of air temperatures. Coming up for tomorrow, we've got a high of 42 to 44 degrees set. That's going to be significantly colder than what you're seeing outside right now. In fact, compared to where we were yesterday, most areas are showing around a 15 to 25 degree rise in heat. That is something you can notice as you step outside, but you'll also notice the winds. They are blustery today, blowing in around 15 to 25 miles an hour. It is going to remain breezy throughout the afternoon, even as the rain showers roll in. But once those drops start to fall, air temperatures will start to come down. Currently looking again at most of the rain coming in through the afternoon, exiting by the time we get to around 6, 7 o'clock tonight. And that opens the door for clear skies and cold air to flow into eastern North Carolina. Air temperatures will be taking quite the drop from today into tomorrow. Make sure you haven't put away those jackets because you're going to need them as you wake up coming up for your Tuesday as well as your Wednesday. It's that cold front that moves in that's really going to bring about the frigid air, but it's going to be reinforced by that area of high pressure sitting further back towards the west. That's going to enhance the northwesterly wind flow, and it's going to keep pushing that cold air into eastern North Carolina even after the cold front pulls away from the coast. After that, we are tracking another area of low pressure that will likely stay north of eastern North Carolina, but certainly something we at least want to mention, as it could potentially bring a little bit more cloud cover to the forecast coming up for your Thursday and Friday, the first 2 days of 2026. For now, though, the big focus is on the rain showers coming up for today and the impact the cold air is going to have as we make our way into tomorrow. Overnight lows tonight down in the mid-20s. Another night below freezing coming up for tonight and tomorrow night. That's all we have time for today's 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Monday.